I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, so here we have this HP OfficeJet Pro 8600 printer, and I got this thing about 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. I've had it for a little while. It's been in storage all this time. This is the first time I've ever plugged it in, and I figured it'd be worth making a video about because last week I had an issue with a similar printer that also used the 950 and 951 cartridges. That kind of printer. So the issue with it was showing an error message that would say that there was an issue with the I think printer ink delivery system. Now I got this one here to show the same message a few minutes ago, but it was just acting kind of funky, so I decided to redo the video. So when I go to start this thing up, it's going to probably show a few error messages. So I'm not sure this is going to be the perfect example, so I'll go and explain a little bit what's going on with it. So, or at least what was going on with this other one. So the thing was, they would get that error message saying that there was an error with the I think the ink delivery system or printer error or something like that. And it would tell you to shut off the printer and power it back on, and if the issue persists, to call HP. That's all it would tell you. It didn't say printhead error. And it's saying, oh, to avoid damage, use the on button to shut down. Well, I tried that, and yeah, anyways. So it would show that error message when you go to start the printer up. And it would show that error message when you go to try to print. You couldn't print with the thing, you couldn't do nothing with it except scan. So the thing was, we tried all we'd already tried all the basic troubleshooting stuff with it. Or at least the college I work at, their ITS department come out and looked at the printer, and they tried everything they could with it. They took everything apart, cleaned everything up, pulled the printhead out, reinserted it, stuff like that. But it kept showing the same message over and over and over again. And so, I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to explain a little bit here. So we was to the point where it was about to go in and just dispose of the printer. We had another one of these printers. It wasn't the exact same model as this. It was a similar model. And it had an issue with its printhead, so I took the supposedly good printhead out of this effective printer and stuck it in the other printer, and lo and behold, that printer showed the exact same error message. There was a failure with the ink delivery subsystem, whatever it's called. I got a screenshot of the message I have to put in the video because this one actually did a few minutes ago. But so what I ended up doing is I took the cartridges out of it and the printhead back out. So I'm going to show you these cartridges. And one thing about this printer I should mention is, well, that one's about empty, but you may be able to hear the ink actually sloshing around inside there. These printers, they use, I believe, like sealed ink tanks, which is better than what some printers out there use. Like, that Kodak piece of crap back over there. These, the ink won't dry up. I mean, this thing's been sitting for quite some time. You can still hear there's ink in the thing. Whereas that one, you leave it sit for a few months, you can forget about printing with it because the ink cartridge will dry up. That's one of the nice things about this printer. But here's the thing. So back to the story. So the other printer that supposedly had a bad printhead, I unloaded all the cartridges out of the printhead, and I compared the printhead side by side with the supposedly good printhead from the effective printer, and I noticed the supposedly good printhead was noticeably heavier. Now this one here, same deal, seems like it's this really heavy. And what was going on was the printhead itself was getting clogged up with ink. And the way this thing works is, I believe there is a pump in the back of this carriage that sends air or something into these individual tanks, and I think it puts a positive air pressure on them to prime the the print head, whereas I think that printer back there is gravity fed. But so what would happen is when this here clogs up and you can't get ink through, I believe it trips that error message. So I'm going to show you, for example, here in a moment, what I did to resolve the issue. So right now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this print head and reinsert the cartridges and see if I can get this thing to work. It's being kind of finicky, to say the least, but typical. And only I should mention that HP, the cost of a replacement print for one of these things, over $100. I think I've seen like $120 to $150 for a print head for this thing. At that kind of price, you may as well just buy a whole new printer. Alright, so it's asked me to put in a sheet of plain paper. And I mean, it comes with some paper, with some dust bunnies, of course. I mean, this thing has been sitting in storage for quite some time. Just curious to see if I can get the thing to even work. Alright. It's just a lovely freaking touchscreen. I'm here mashing the crap out of it. And it's like, oh, to avoid damage, use the home button to shut down. Let's see what happens here. It wants to act like everything's all good and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna plug this up to the Plexi and send it a test page and see if we can get it to print. Okay, so it looks like it's installed, and I should mention this is actually pretty cool. If this thing works alright, I may actually put it in service for myself, because it has built-in fax and it's a two-sided printer. It can print double-sided, which is pretty cool. A color printer can print double-sided. Although I will say that when it comes to typical printing, this thing right here is going to be the workhorse, because obviously it's a whole lot less expensive to print black and white with this than with that. So let's do a test page here. See if this thing even works. It's like we're missing. Yeah, I think we're missing a tray. Or missing something off the end. I'll show you in a sec. Let's send a test page. It's amazing how long it takes for these things to print one sheet of paper. This one's actually going a little faster. And to my amazement, I mean, we do have some issues there, but it's actually printing, which I'm kind of surprised about. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about remember the issue I was talking about earlier. So, and actually I got this one to throw the error message, not sure how, but a lot of times when you get that error message, it's because of this. So I'm going to take this carriage back out, this print head back out of here. Because it's for the same reason. You can see we got all these lines here. That's because the print head needs to be cleaned. Now the printer does have a built-in cleaning utility. It's pretty typical of inkjet printers to have that. But sometimes when you have problems with the printer just printing horribly, or if you get that error message, this is another thing that's worth trying. Now, once I take this out of here, I'm going to talk about something else. So, the thing is, I went to clean out the print head and reinstalled it, and it still threw the same error message. But what I had to do was close the door without there being a print head installed, and this would actually clear the error. So That's kind of the thing I want to mention is when you get that error message, I would suggest trying what I'm about to try here. I'm going to clean up this print head real good. You take it out of your printer, close the door, leave the thing powered on, close the door, and let it throw this message right here: missing or failed print head. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead into the kitchen and get this thing cleaned up. Okay, so now we're in the kitchen, and I've got a bunch of paper towels. You're going to definitely need some paper towels for this. So I got the water running hot. You don't have to use hot water, but hot water generally does work better at cleaning these things. So you use one paper towel to do a dry wipe across the face of the print head. And you can see we got some ink there. And watch what happens when we wet this a little bit. Yeah, guys, look at that. Now I'm not pressing against this really hard. But I am pressing enough to kind of allow the hot water to soak into the print head there. We'll move on to our next paper towel. Just kind of do the same thing over and over again. Allow that water to kind of soak into the print head there, and as you can see, it's definitely taking a lot of ink out of there. Because what happens over time is sometimes these things can dry up, and the printer itself can no longer print, and even using its built-in cleaning utility generally won't do too well. So you actually have to manually clean it, and it's generally pretty easy to do. Like I say, these print heads, HP wants a pretty penny for them, so if you have one that's not working right, this very well could fix your problem. I mean, there's a load of ink coming out of there. I'm going to tell you, these things, they don't do a very good job of actually cleaning themselves. And really, to be honest, the printer clean function you may find in the maintenance section of your printer is something that really the printer does kind of on its own, just to a lesser extent. So I think we're doing pretty good there. Now the issue with this printer is it could just simply be just about out of ink. So I'm going to shut that water off and one more wipe. And I think we're good to go here. We can go ahead and install this back into the printer. And I want to talk about something, guys. This thing actually feels a little bit lighter. Now, it still has ink in it. If you look inside here, you can see that there's ink in it. There's liquid ink inside these things, each of the four. But I can't be 100% certain, but it does sort of feel like this thing's a little bit lighter. Throw these nasty paper towels away. Last thing I want to do is get ink in my nice kitchen. So I'm going to return back to the computer room and install this and see if it makes any difference. So, as mentioned, if you're getting that message on your printer about an ink delivery system error and it's telling you to restart the printer, try this before you try anything else. Because let me be honest with you, I'm going to go back to the tech room and I'll tell you about more. So yeah, let me tell you something here. So the front desk lady, so this was her printer. When I walked into her office, it was Friday, I think it was. Walked into her office and she was on the phone with HP support because ITS had mentioned to call HP, because that was kind of their last, that was kind of their protocol, that was their last resort option, was recommends to the client to contact the manufacturer for assistance. And of course, with this printer being many years out of warranty, I mean, the thing was manufactured, I think, in 2014 or 2015. Obviously, HP wasn't going to do much to help her. And let me tell you guys, I mean, HP did the basic little, IT style troubleshooting. Like, did you unplug it and plug it back in? I mean, this guy literally had the lady unplug, because I just walked into the office at the time that she was on the phone with this guy, and the guy was like, unplug it from the printer and unplug it from the wall. Like, think myself, you're wasting their time. You're wasting their time telling her to do stuff like that, because obviously that's not the problem. So, and this guy, let me tell you, he was like on the phone, coughing into the phone. The guy is a guy in India, I believe. It was horrible. It was so bad. So, yeah, I basically had to step in and come to the rescue. And let me tell you, even ITS, they were kind of curious how I'd fix the problem, because it was kind of a weird one. So, anyways, let's go ahead and put this thing back in there. Got to readjust the tripod here. You can see there's the carriage without without the print head or ink cartridges in it. We're going to install the print head. I swear, guys, this thing does feel like it's a little bit lighter. It probably dumped all the reserve ink it had into it. There's like a sponge in these printers. I tell you, these things, as these printers age, there's like a giant foam reservoir that just fills up with ink. It's crazy. Pop this here back down. Stick our cartridges back in there. Probably going to get new ink cartridges for this thing anyhow. Yeah, some of them are probably getting low, or they are getting low. It's funny, this cyan, the one that was printing, seems to be out. Yeah. I'll have to look online and see if there are decent generic options for ink for this thing. The print carriers cannot move. Here, I'll move it for you. There, is that better? Alright, we'll turn it off. I tell you, these things, they're wonderful. Yeah, I might put this thing in the service and get it to work right, but I'll tell you, this pretty much any inkjet, it's just they're garbage. They're not that great. So let's start up again. Let you witness the sounds of it starting. I tell you, restarting these things does seem to be kind of the magic solution to the problem, but not always. I should mention the thing's been keeping date and time all this time. Well, the time ain't quite right, but the date is. Okay, is it done? What's funny is this one is not even prompting to do a calibration of the print head, whereas the other ones I worked on did. So let me send our test page to it, see what it does. It's amazing how long it takes these things to print one sheet of paper. Now let's compare that to this other one over here. And you can see it looks a whole lot better. This printed really well. That, not so much. So that cleaning definitely did help it. And if yours is showing that error message, why does it keep prompting that? It prompts it to maintenance but does nothing. Okay, it's got this little thing you can raise the menu screen up with. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, guys, I know this video didn't quite go exactly to plan, but I did want to discuss that error message, and the steps I did in this video may be able to clear that error message for you. So, yeah, and like I say, it's the first time I've ever run this thing. So, clean it up, and I'll look online to see what I can get ink for it for, the cost. And if it's reasonable, I might put it in the service for myself. I don't know. Because let me tell you, that Kodak over there, oh, never much cared for it. Those things are a pain. I'll be honest with you. It's why Kodak actually got back out of printer business, because they couldn't make a printer that's worth a crap. So, anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget, there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to keep your channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way you'll get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.